First off, I just want to thank everybody for coming. I'm glad you're here. I think you all know who I am. I'm John Cruz. Just want to tell you a little bit about my Take Shape for Life story. About 4 years ago, when I got my dog Opie, I was able to lose about 20 pounds over the course of 3 or 4 months because I was doing a lot of walking. But I realized I was still in my 30s then. And since then, I've slowly, and at times not so slowly, put more and more weight on, even though I continue to walk. And it was about a year ago, last November, that I started to get real foot problems. And I stopped walking because my feet hurt, which only caused me to gain more weight. So I did what most people do, and come first of the year, made the resolution to start eating better, and I joined out at Planet Fitness. And 6 months later, after what I thought was eating better and going to the gym 2 or 3 times a week for 6 months, I was in the exact same place I was. This first picture was taken in May. I'll pass that around.
Did you go to the prom, John?
200, yes, I went to the prom.
That's right, you did go to the prom. I went with him.
Oh, what a nice
That was his
parent.
date.
What a nice
And I was
parent.
over 280 pounds. This was taken the day after I went to my Take Shape for Life meeting, where I met Dr. J and Dr. Dan. And I started the program 3 days after this. And Saturday I started the program, I was 288 pounds. And this Saturday when I weighed in, I was 210 pounds, and I was 15 weeks.
Perfect. That's great.
So I'm happy to have a couple of my mentors here, Dr. Jay DeCesar and Dr. Dan Van Zant. Dan is going to give the talk tonight. Hi, Pat. Thanks for coming. So, welcome, Dr. Dan.
Hey, John. So I want to welcome everybody. You could have stayed home. It's such a beautiful night, but you decided to come out. I apologize. My voice is a little bit raspy. Do we have any Giants fans in the audience?
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
I was there. I saw it firsthand. So
That was really
some of this comes from excitement. Some of this comes from being a little bit upset. So I want to welcome you all. This program is very personal to me. This program saved someone very near and dear to my heart, my aunt, whose story I'll share with you in a minute. I realized I could only help so many people, so I decided to reach out to other physicians and other people that want to help other people, because there's lots and lots of Aunt Renees out there that were basically heading down a very unhealthy road. Before I get started, I just want to introduce Dr. Jay DeCesar. Dr. Jay DeCesar is a good friend of mine from college. We lost touch over the years. I called him up, asked how his health was doing, and I asked if he was doing anything for his practice and for his patients to help him lose weight, get healthy, and he said no. So Jay told me that he was still about the same weight that I remembered him at, and I said, well, let's get you on this program, let's get you healthy. So Jay, come on up and just spend a minute and just tell your story and how long ago you started, your journey, how much better you feel, your patients, and
Well, he
what's going on?
came into the practice and he said, "We'll get you on the program, and then maybe you can start talking to your patients about it." And I said, "All right." So I went on the program, and I was about just a couple pounds shy of 300 pounds, and so I started going to the program, and the weight just started coming off, and my patients started coming up to me, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm doing something about Take Shape for Life." "Well, tell me about it." So I said, "All right, I'm having a meeting. Come to the meeting." So I did, and I've lost 65 pounds, and my wife's lost 50 pounds, and I have over 100 patients on the program that have lost substantial amounts of weight. And not only that, but they've decreased their medications that they were on, their blood pressure medications, the diabetic medications, and it's a great program. So after that, I'm going to turn this back over to Dr. Reed.
Great, thanks, Jay. So before we get started, I just want to share with you a couple other stories. These folks were sitting in the audience just like you, just checking out the program, and what they heard made sense. They just tried to give it a shot for a month, and for those that were happy, just continued to on the process, just like these guys. So this is Teresa. Teresa actually lost 40 pounds in 4 months. Went from a size from a size 16 to a size 6. But more importantly, we've monitored these clients' blood pressure, cholesterol. She's taking less pain medication. So I'll kind of pass these around, and you can just pass them around. So the key is you know, when I started this program in my practice, I wanted to make sure that it was something healthy, that it was safe, that people weren't going to be depriving themselves of anything that their body needs, that when we're losing weight, people are just losing fat, they're not losing muscle too. And doing it in a, like I said, a healthy way, and then also making sure that they were getting taught the habits of health. So, you know, much beyond just a diet. Most of you know the statistics on diets. 92% of people that lose weight gain it back within 2 years. People that have been on a diet are more likely to be overweight than people that have never been on a diet. Strange statistic, but it's true. We want to make sure that as clients are going through the weight loss journey, we teach them the habits of health so by the time they get there, they'll never have to lose the weight again. And then beyond that, we really want to help people create health in their life. Because there's medications out there to help you lose weight, but there's no medication that's going to help you create health in your life and get you healthy. So this is actually a Ron Gels. I'll tell you a little bit about Ron. I know Ron personally, great guy. He's one of our top health coaches. Ron started the program when he was 63. He lost, I believe, about 70 pounds in 5 months. Came off his blood pressure and cholesterol medication. He's maintained his weight for 4 years. Now that's Ron. This guy here is Ron's heart doctor. This is Dr. Joe Pecoraro. Dr. Joe saw Ron go on the program, lose the weight, keep it off for about 9 months, and he asked his patient, "What are you doing? You look great." So Dr. Joe went on the program. He's one of our other top health coaches. Now instead of doing more and more surgeries, he's putting more and more of his patients on Take Shape for Life. You don't need the surgery because he's getting healthy. And this is my aunt. My aunt, when she got married, she's 5'5". She got married. She was 140 pounds. She was running a full-time daycare, and after a couple children and just taking care of everybody else, her health just over the years, didn't happen overnight, but happened over time, her health just kind of got away from her. And in this picture, she's 294 pounds. She's been struggling with her weight for 28 years. You name it, she's done it. Every diet, every program, she's been to the Duke Clinic, their weight loss center, she's been everywhere. She's got a hypoactive thyroid. Her thyroid doesn't function quite right, and her doctors thought that no matter what changes she made in her diet, no matter what she did with exercise, it wasn't going to work. Her doctor said you could walk from here to San Francisco and not lose a pound. So she had basically completely given up hope. She was considering gastric bypass surgery, and when she went to watch the video at the consultation, she saw there was a chance she could actually die during the procedure from complications. And she had her first granddaughter on the way. So she thought to herself, I'd rather be unhealthy than dead. And about that time, about 4 months after I started recommending the program in my practice, and I saw how consistent the results were, I sat down with my aunt. I said, "Aunt, I'd really like to talk to you about a program." She said, "Don't want to hear it. Been there, done that. Nothing's going to work for me. I've tried everything." So long story short, she said I was her morphine drip for about 4 months because I kind of kept just letting her know about the program, letting her know how my clients were doing. She said, "You know what? I'm not going to do gastric bypass. Nothing else has worked. What have I got to lose if I try this for a month?" So she started the program October 1st, 2007. And 2 weeks after she started the program, she noticed that her shoes were fitting a little bit looser, which was encouraging because a lot of the swelling and the edema in her ankles was starting to reduce. And she started feeling better. Her energy level started going up. So she was definitely encouraged. Didn't weigh herself yet because she's still afraid she was going to fail. 2 weeks later, a month after she started the program, November 1st, she tries on her overcoat that she hadn't tried on since last year. So she puts it on, and it's kind of like swimming on her. And she said, maybe it was swimming on me last year. So she just kind of, but she was encouraged. Another week later, she had her doctor's appointment that she was scheduled every 6 months to get her blood pressure, cholesterol, sugar, and everything else tested. So every time she goes, she gets her blood test, and then the doctor weighs her at the end. So she's like in a cold sweat. Because she's like, "Okay, Renee, we're gonna weigh you now. We're just gonna check your weight." In 5 weeks since she started the program, she's like, "Oh boy," because if she weighs herself and she's the same weight, who knows what she would have done? I mean, honestly, she was just absolutely just ready to completely give up. So she stepped on the scale. And this is her endocrinologist for 18 years, and she steps on the scale, and the doctor's moving the meter, down, 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 down. Doctor looks at her chart. This can't be possible. And Renee too said, "This can't be right. I've never lost this much weight in this amount of time." So she steps off the scale. They recalibrated the scale. Steps back on, same result. After 38 days, she had lost 33 pounds.
Oh my God, time to think.
And that's her 8.5 months after she started the program.
Wow.
So this is someone that the doctors gave up on. They took a lock of her hair and a blood sample, and they sent it to Germany. And they said, "We don't know what's wrong." Basically said, "Good luck."